Hey spooky bitches, my name is Michaela and welcome to or back to my YouTube channel. Today's video, we're not going to be talking about ghosts, but today we're talking about aliens, bitch. I'm currently under lockdown in Los Angeles, so what better way to distract myself than talking about some fucking aliens, right? So today I'm going to specifically be talking about an event called the Phoenix Lights, and this has been something that has interested me for a very long time because it took place where I grew up and it's just something I've always been curious about. So I was actually only about 6 months old when this happened, and I asked my parents and neither of them witnessed it themselves. So I don't have any personal experience to talk about, but that's fine because over 1,000 people witnessed this event and have shared their stories. This event actually also inspired a movie that came out in 2017 called The Phoenix Forgotten, and it's like a found footage style movie that's based around the event, and I loved that movie. I thought it was really good. I'm also just a slut for found footage movies, so maybe it's just me, but I definitely recommend checking it out. It was really good. I liked it. Okay, so what are the Phoenix Lights? The Phoenix Lights were a series of widely sighted, unidentified flying objects over a span of 300 miles, starting from Nevada all the way down to Tucson, Arizona. There were two distinct events involved in this incident. A triangular formation of lights seen to pass over the state, and a series of stationary lights seen over the Phoenix area. The United States Air Force claimed that the second group of lights were flares dropped by an aircraft during training at the Berry Goldwater Range in southwestern Arizona. But a Freedom of Information Act request from 2019 revealed that 1, no flares were dropped that night, and 2, there was not even any exercises taking place at that point in time. Witnesses claim to have observed a huge Carpenter square-shaped UFO containing 5 spherical lights or possibly light-emitting engines. The governor at the time, Fife Symington III, at first made jokes of the event and kind of tried to just brush it off, but actually later came out that he actually witnessed the event himself and he called it otherworldly, but we'll get more into that later. So let's go in and take a look at the whole timeline of this event. So the first report of a sighting came in at 7:55 p.m. from a man reporting to see a V shape over Henderson, Nevada. He said it was about the size of a Boeing 747, sounded like rushing wind, and had 6 lights along its leading edge. An unidentified police officer from Paulden, Arizona is reported to be the next witness of this event after leaving his house at 8:15 p.m. As he was driving north, he allegedly saw a cluster of red and orange lights in the sky. He returned home and through binoculars watched the lights as they disappeared over the horizon. The first reports in Phoenix came from Tim Lay and his wife Bobby. They saw the lights above Prescott Valley, which was about 65 miles away from them. At first, the lights appeared to them to be 5 distinct lights in an arc shape as if it was on top of a balloon, but then they soon realized that the lights were actually moving towards them. Soon, the object was only 100 to 150 feet away from them, coming down their street towards them. And they said it was so slow it almost appeared to be hovering and it was completely silent. The object then seemed to pass over their heads and went through a V opening in the peaks of the mountain range towards Squaw Peak Mountain and towards the direction of Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. Witnesses in Glendale saw the object and they said it was at a high enough altitude to be obscured by thin clouds, and this report came in around 8:30 to 8:45 p.m. A few days after the sighting, Arizona Governor Fry Symington III held a press conference and stated that they knew who was responsible. He proceeded to make light of the situation by bringing someone on stage dressed in an alien costume. But in March 2007, he actually came out and said that he had witnessed one of the crafts of unknown origin during the 1997 event, even though he did not say anything at the time.
This event called Lights Over Phoenix. What did you see?
Well, I saw a huge craft just kind of come right over Squaw Peak. That was, it was just breathtaking. Nothing like anything I've ever seen.
And you're an Air Force guy.
Yeah, and a pilot. Got a lot of hours flying. But I told Ann what I was doing. I was going to go up to Squaw Peak and see what everybody was, clamoring about. And when I walked in the front door, she looked at me, and I was apparently just, normally I'm fair-complected and pale anyway, right? And she said, "Oh my gosh," she said, "she looked like a ghost. What did you see?" And I said, "Well, I don't know what I saw, but it was really something, and I'm not going to talk about it." And
wow.
So,
Did it frighten you?
No, I think I was kind of in awe, really,
How big?
Bigger than anything I've ever seen in the sky.
Though that you think our own government may have been kind of running by a populated area to see what would happen?
Well, they certainly achieved their goal of stirring the pot, if that's what they were doing. But I don't think so. I think this was technologically far advanced. I use the analogy. Can you imagine if you took Christopher Columbus and put him in the cockpit of a Boeing 777? What his reaction would be? He wouldn't understand it. He would be convinced that this is something from another world, you know.
Is that what?
And I think I really believe that. I believe that. But I've always been open to that. You know, we're not alone in the universe.
I agree with
We're
you
going to
there.
find that. We're going to find that out one way or the other.
Symington also noted that he requested information from the commander of Luke Air Force Base, the general of the National Guard, and the head of the Department of Public Safety, and all of them said that they didn't know and they were perplexed by it too, which that's not very comforting. If Air Force Base, National Guard, and Department of Public Safety, they're just like, I don't know, man, shit's weird, like, what? In an episode of the TV show UFO Hunters called The Arizona Lights, Symington actually said that he contacted the military asking them what the lights were, and they responded with, no comment. Huh? What do you mean no comment? What? So this is obviously something the government is trying to just shut down and like sweep under the rug, which I don't know about you, but it seems a little suspicious if you ask me. So the most common like excuse people make for this is that it was just flares. The military say it, non-believers say it was just flares. So I actually found some videos of the actual like event that someone caught, and I'm gonna let you look at it and tell me if it's just some flares. So here you go.
Why not?
Yeah,
They
four.
keep
I see
coming.
four.
Wait, I see. Whoa, look at them.
I got that one on video.
There's 4 of them. Look at, there's 3 of them all together.
I got the third one popping in.
Over to your left. There's one behind the chimney. One just flared up.
I got 4 of them.
Another one.
Major sighting here.
No, there's 5.
Oh!
Another one just showed up. They're multiplied.
Whoa!
Maybe somebody's setting up lights.
Did you see that?
No, those are in the sky.
There's one underneath the house too.
There's one behind the chimney. We
Okay, come
need to go
over
to
here.
Pecos.
I can't see how this works. How does this
Holy
work?
Oh, you got it too
shit.
hot. Have you seen that before?
No.
That's weird.
They're lined up in a pattern, man. There's geometry behind this.
I can't even get
The
this.
m-
I've never seen it. Look at that.
Man, this is...
What is this? It looks like there's 3 of them. What do they look like? Is like this sphere before?
Yeah, they're spears now.
Are they complete circles or
Yeah, they just transformed into circles right now, right as you were talking.
Let me go look at the other side.
The other one faded away.
The other one went by.
Behind a tree.
4 appeared so fast.
I got 3 lined up.
Who's gonna see that video and in their right mind be like, oh yeah, that's just flares? 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 Flares, bitch, what do you... What? Ooh, I almost just fell. I don't know about you, but I have never seen flares that show up in the sky and just chill there. Every flare I have seen gets shot up, poofs, and then slowly falls down. It doesn't just stay in place in the exact same formation. Like, what? So as you can imagine, the flare theory has been debunked. And instead of me sitting here and repeating information, I'm just gonna play some videos from people who actually know what the fuck they're talking about. So, here we go.
These lights up here represent aircraft flares. If you notice, they're not in any straight line. They vary in distance between each other. And if you look at the top, you can see the smoke. As the flare falls, it leaves a trail of smoke above it from the burning magnesium in the flare.
Flares are moving relative to each other. They're moving at different speeds. The Phoenix lights are rock steady.
The biggest hole in the flare theory is that it completely contradicts thousands of eyewitness testimonies consistently describing a massive V-shaped craft flying slower than the stall speed of a small plane, totally silent and very low to the ground. Flares don't travel hundreds of miles, and witnesses in southern and northern Arizona couldn't possibly see flares over the Berry Goldwater Range.
Nobody would ever drop those flares over a populated area. They're cylinders that are about 3 feet tall, 10 inches wide, and they are intense magnesium. And they sometimes hit the ground, they're still burning, so they'd start fires.
Dropping flares, or any objects for that matter, over populated areas and Indian reservations is a serious FAA violation.
And he tries to debunk a U.S. Air Force claim that the Phoenix lights were actually flares dropped by National Guard A-10s on a training mission over the Goldwater Range.
So now I'm going to drop in a little graphic so that we can see how far or if the lights move at all in relation to the horizon.
The video goes on to play for about a minute, and the lights do not move.
5 flares stay perfect with one another. That's uncanny.
Except for the one that seems to split and go up.
They split into two and went up.
Flares can't do that. Flares drift and drop with the wind. They have huge smoke trails that are illuminated by the flare itself and illuminate the area around it. That's what they're used for.
This is video of Air Force flares we shot a few years after the sightings. We talked to Mike in 1997, just days after the sightings.
You're convinced these lights were this side of the mountains?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the reason I say that is because the lights were lower than the mountain.
19 years later, Kristen says he's still waiting for a logical explanation.
The video that I had, though, it's like I say, it's been around the world, and many people have seen it, and I thought by now somebody would have an answer to this thing, and nobody has come up with anything logical.
He doesn't think they're flares.
Okay, pause. You can literally see something black connecting all of the lights. Like, bitch, what? Flares? Really, flares, bitch. Come on.
People that believe in the flares are not going to believe in anything else.
I don't know what they are, but I know that they are.
Dr. Kitai isn't sure what they are either, even after 19 years of research. Still, she hopes to find out and hopes to keep the discussion going.
So as you can see, people are going in on this situation. They are not taking no for an answer. They want to get to the bottom of this, and people are still investigating this to this day. Like, I found like a whole website of just like archives of like shit people have found. Like, there's like a whole society of people dedicating their lives to figuring out what the fuck happened. Like, it's crazy. And before I thought of doing this video, I've never actually seen a video of the event. It's just something I never thought to look up. And when I saw that video, bitch, that I just showed you, I literally got goosebumps. Like, that is so scary. Like, if I would have seen that in person, I would have shit my fucking pants, bitch. It's insane. And just to use the excuse of flares, like, no, it was aliens, bitch. We actually just passed the 23rd anniversary of the Phoenix Lights. It's March 25th when I'm filming this video. I didn't really plan to do this around the same time. It just kind of happened. I don't know if we'll ever find out what the lights were. We probably won't, but there's a whole lot of people out there dedicating their lives to it, so maybe one day we will. Who knows? That's all I have for this video. So if you liked it, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and if you really liked it, then subscribe below if you have not already. If you want to keep up with me between uploads, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter @Michigi, and I will see you guys in my next video. Make sure to stay spooky, friends.